something back there, bro.
Dogman, the canine cryptid that we have all come to know and fear. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Brookestirr Watches. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 5 of the scariest dogmen and women from Texas. Yes, the good old state of Texas. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I do upload these videos very often. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all your likes, shares, and comments. You all make my day. And welcome to the Wolf Pack, new subscribers. Paws up, yeah, and make sure to paw that like button as well, okay? It helps with the algorithm, all right? I know it's silly, but it does. Also, guys, make sure you check out all the links in the description box below. That's where I cite all of my sources, okay? And out of respect, I always say go down and give them a like. All right, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a walk into the forest. All right, guys, this first one right here is called Dogman Caught on a Camera Creature, and it's by Jordan G23. So make sure you go give Jordan a like on this video, okay?
Hey man, so I'm sitting up here at work, right? I'm a security guard, guys. It's 5:38 in the morning. This passageway down there with the sewage drain, that's locked off actually. And you see them glaring eyes right there, right? Now,
I do see them.
I don't know what the hell that is down there.
Oh, but hell no.
It's weird, bro, cause like
what
it
is
popped
that?
up, and as the camera, as you can see, is black and white.
Whoa.
As the other ones is in color. You see, I can zoom out on it, and I can zoom in on it, and the eyes are just glaring. Like, I don't know what the hell that is, man. It's not a person.
Oh wow. Oh no, I definitely see the eye shine.
I don't know if it's a dog man or something. It's something back there, bro.
He literally said this is a dog man.
Shit.
You get feelings like that.
Please leave in the comments, like, and subscribe.
So this one right here is called Why Are Truckers Scared of Texas? And it's by What Lurks Beneath. I'm kind of thinking that it might be a dog man, that's why.
In May of 2001, a truck driver named Raymond, who had been stationed in San Antonio, encountered 2 significantly unsettling encounters along the I-35 North with an entity that he struggled to articulate. It was a time period before smartphones were commonplace and navigation was mostly just through traditional paper map. After a long, tiring day of work in the corporate world, this seemingly ordinary trip turned out to be an unprecedented adventure. Late into this particular evening, something he will never be able to forget had transpired. An unknown creature, unlike any animal he had ever seen, streaked across the highway. The creature reminded him a bit like a wild boar and a dog, shaggy and hunched over, and notably more substantial than the size of a regular dog. It seemed as if he had just walked into a scene from a tacky sci-fi flick. The creature darted across the road effortlessly and then climbed up an almost vertical embankment before disappearing into oblivion. Incredulous at his own sighting, he had barely enough time to register the creature darting across the highway. He was able to observe it for several long seconds before it vanished, leaving him in disbelief. He knew it was not a coyote or any ordinary creature. Despite his best efforts to attribute this vision to fatigue and exhaustion, another, much more horrifying encounter occurred about 5 weeks after. In early June 2001, Raymond found himself driving home from a friend's house late in the evening while off work. The time was around 11:15 p.m., and he was navigating his way along Farm to Market Road, located right in Vanderpool, Texas. His car radio was on, providing some distraction as he reflected on the events of his day. Suddenly, in a metaphorical bolt of lightning, everything in his vehicle ceases to function. His engine, radio, everything experienced a sudden cessation of activity, which forced him to maneuver his vehicle off the road. Following this occurrence, Raymond gets out of his truck, armed with a flashlight, and proceeded to examine under the hood of his car. However, even with a very thorough search, the source of the sudden failure of his truck proved elusive. This is the moment where he starts to feel a strange sensation surrounding him. He likens it to an imminent thunderstorm advancing rapidly, even though the night is crystal clear. Quite quickly, he seems to be immersed in an itinerant electric current, and within moments, the rustling of leaves and the foliage on the sides of the road becomes loud. This is the moment Raymond's survival instincts kick into action, alerting him to the apparent danger looming. He isn't questioning who or what is causing this yet, but he is certain that his immediate action should be to distance himself from here. With this in mind, he urgently sprints back to his truck, slams the door shut, and as this man retrieves his Colt 45 from his glove compartment, his truck miraculously comes back to life after several attempts. The side road noises grew louder every passing second. The 30 or so it took him to re-enter his truck, draw his revolver, and ignite the engine. Now, just as his truck roared into existence, his headlights illuminated the figure emerging from the foliage onto the road. The sight mirrored the creature he had encountered during his first nocturnal journey up I-35 North. However, this entity was noticeably larger, appeared more aggressive, and boasted more grotesque features. The size of its canines were alarming, dwarfing those of any normal creature. And disturbingly, it seemed to have patches of missing flesh or skin. His description alluded to some sort of nightmarish bipedal jackal. As soon as the entity stepped into the glare of the headlights, its eyes glowed an ominous orange as it fixed its gaze directly at Raymond. Promptly, it started advancing towards his truck. Now, simultaneously, additional creatures materialized from the vegetation on the opposite side of the road, also converging on his vehicle. Being quick on his feet, Raymond realized he lacked the time to properly combat them. In his desperation, he instantly shifted his vehicle into drive and veered past the creature with a swift maneuver.
All right, guys, this next one right here is called Texas Dogman, Real Encounters with Dogman, and it's by the Supernaturalist channel. So make sure you go give him a like, okay?
And as I made my way to the truck, I started to get a weird feeling again.
What was that weird feeling?
I remembered I had Jose's gun on me, and my .357 was in the truck. So I ignored it and made my way up the cement steps and up the driveway. When I was halfway to my truck, I heard what sounded like panting and a dog semi-running in the trees behind the driveway. I somewhat ignored it, as I'm not afraid of any big dogs, and if worse came to happen, I could just scare him with a shot. I kept walking towards the truck when I saw a big black dog come running out from the trees. It made the 10-foot drop from the trees to about 10 feet from the bed of the truck like it was nothing, and just started sniffing the air. Now, I've been around many large breeds of dogs my entire life.
Oh my gosh. It's just like our last video in Ohio. Remember, they're sniffing for fear pheromones. Oh my gosh. He said he sniffed the air. He's smelling to see if that guy is afraid. Bro, that's so creepy.
I've seen lots of dog shows on Animal Planet, as well as the world's biggest dog videos on YouTube. And this dog looked nothing like anything that I'd ever seen before.
Oh my God.
It had pointed ears like a Doberman, but the body, it was all wrong. It looked much too wide and bulky. It just paced from left paw to right paw, sniffing the air as I continued to get closer. I was, in a way, amazed to see such a big, bulky dog. I love pit bulls, and I love how their muscles show with the right feeding and exercise. So, I wanted to get closer to this dog. My mind had completely forgotten about our encounter, and how I'd been feeling part of the night. I walked closer
That boy
and closer
crazy.
until I was about 30 feet away from it. It must have smelled me because it stopped immediately and turned its head
smelled your
slightly
fear?
to the side. And that's when I realized I'd screwed up. This dog, or whatever it was, had a big giant wolf head on it, like an extra wide German Shepherd head. Then it turned not just its head, but its whole body, pivoting on its left rear paw. And from the little light, I was able to make out part of its detail. I was mesmerized to see a giant wolf-like creature there, but I still couldn't see its details. So, I reached for my keys and clicked the unlock button on my keyless entry remote. The rear lights
man
turned
brave
on,
as hell.
and I was able to see it a little better.
Oh, God.
That's when it started sniffing and getting closer to me. And it slowly kind of went from four-legged to a crouching-like position on its hind legs. Then, it reached to grab onto the bed of my truck with its hand.
Oh,
Yes.
hell no.
I said hand.
No.
A forefinger and one thumb hand. I think it did that to get closer to me. At this point, it was about 10 feet away when it stopped and just looked at me, looking at me from head to toe, and then back up again.
This one right here is called Dogman Texas Subscriber Almost Torn Apart. It's a must-hear interview. It is raining outside, so if you hear the rain, I do apologize. But that just makes it even more creepier now to hear these stories, right? Please, go over to Jeff's channel, give him a like and a subscribe, okay? Yes, pouring the rain outside, guys.
Well, greetings
I
and
don't know if you can hear it.
salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today, I have a Texas subscriber
Look at that
interview
picture. Jesus,
where
that's
he
scary.
shares the events of his terrifying encounter.
I went out to my truck. Before I got out the door, me and my wife were talking, and we heard this terrible noise. I can't even describe it to you. And it was like a howling, but it just wasn't a howling. It was not right. And we had coyotes around there, but as far as I knew, that's all we had. And we kind of looked at each other funny, and I went on getting ready to go to work, and I went out to my truck. And I started to stick the key in the keyhole and unlock the door, and I heard this crashing. It sounded like a bull elephant was coming through the woods behind my house. And there's an abandoned house behind us in the woods. You couldn't even see it from our house, but it was less than 100 feet to it. And whatever was coming through there was coming right down beside that house. And I just stopped what I was doing and stood there watching the edge of the woods. And before long, I saw coming out of this woods, standing upright, was a creature covered with hair, long, brownish red looking hair. And I couldn't really see any facial features. It was kind of foggy out. I lived right on the lake, so it was foggy a lot of mornings. But it probably was, I'd say, close to 6 foot tall. It wasn't over, it wasn't no 7 or 8 or 9. But it was probably about 6 foot tall, but real muscular. And at first I thought, am I seeing a Bigfoot? But as it got...
They're all muscular in Texas. I guess Texas, everything is bigger.
I just dropped to the ground. I was on the truck was between me and it, my pickup. So I just dropped to the ground and was watching it from under the truck. And frankly, I wet on myself. When I saw the thing's face, it
I would have done the same thing, buddy.
It looked like a bulldog almost, the face.
Look like a
And
bulldog.
I could see its canine teeth, and I could see the breath as it breathed in and out.
Oh my God.
Vapor from it. And I could see the hairs. I got a good look at it.
Right.
And
Wow, guys, that was a terrifying. What would you do? I would have definitely wet my pants too. I'm not even going to lie about that. Let me know in the comments below. And please please, out of respect, go give Jeff a like, okay? As well as give me a like. That would be awesome because it really, really, really helps the algorithm. I know it's silly, I say it all the time, but it really does help our algorithm out when you press that like button. Just put your little pretty paws up there. Thank you. So this one right here, I think I have shared before, but it was so good. I just really wanted to share it again. And maybe you haven't seen it yet. Maybe this is the first time you're ever seeing my channel. So make sure you go over there and give me a subscribe and also give this video a like. But I wanted to share this again because it is from on the border of Texas. And this is one of the best Dogman footages I have ever seen before in my life. And I really wanted to share it again with you. But it's called Bigfoot or Dogman on the Texas border by Thinker Thunker, and it's part 1. So make sure you please. That was weird. Okay, that was weird. I mean, I know but why would just one of my lights go out? Okay, that's weird. I'm glad nothing else did though. So okay, let's watch. Look at this, guys. Look at it.
Okay, so it's something.
I'm gonna try to zoom in.
A dog or what? Oh, la verga!
It stood up. And it was like just, I don't know if that was a person or it looked like almost canine.
Yeah.
Watch.
Oh, la verga!
What in the heck? What in the heck?
Okay, so it's
It's
something.
like laying
a dog
in
or
water
what?
or something. He said, is it a dog or what?
Oh, la verga!
This is Matthew. He sent me his Dogman encounter, and he is also from Texas, hence why I decided to do Texas Dogman today. So he starts off with saying, "Hi, I just recently found your channel and love it, by the way. To start off, I've had experiences my whole life. From the time I was approximately 3 years old. Brother, I can't even remember when I was 3. Like, that's crazy. And I still remember them clear as day. Okay, so the first encounter, like I said, he was about 3 years old, growing up in a rural part of northeast Texas, only about 60 miles from Shreveport, where there was only 6 houses that was on the road, and I lived completely surrounded by woods. Well, one night, a motorist struck a deer upon the main road, and the game warden gave the deer to my dad and the next door neighbors. Well, as they were stringing up the deer, something let out this god-awful roar. It echoed through the woods. Well, my dad hollered for my mom to grab his gun, and the neighbor told his wife to grab his rifle. Also, my grandpa was there with his 12 gauge while my mama was running the rifle to my dad. I tagged along, only being 3. She didn't leave me alone. So he was only 3, so she wasn't going to leave him alone. We were about halfway to the neighbors when this thing let out a second roar, which according to my dad was just across the oil top road. So he ran to us and grabbed the gun. And me and my mama and baby sister ran into the neighbor's house where me and the youngest daughter was sitting in the living room floor while they skinned the deer. I remember looking up at the side door at a pair of red eyes looking in at us. Can you imagine being kids and just sitting there and see red eyes looking at you? It wanted that deer, buddy. It wanted that deer. It said, I don't like that y'all are eating my deer. Oh my gosh, bro. Pair of red eyes looking in at us. After all, we ended up selling the land and the house and moving to my other grandparents' land. By then, I was around 5. Well, one night around 9:30 or 10, we heard the shooting. Oh, and we heard the exact same roar coming through the woods again. So my dad runs out and starts shooting. My grandpa does the same thing, and so does my uncle. That lived on the next hilltop, as well as his neighbors, and whatever it was went away until about 2014. So they scared it away until 2014. Okay, and so It says after Matt had returned home from overseas, he went camping by himself. Okay, so he was in the middle. He said it was basically a jungle, and I found a good spot at the bottom of what we called the big hill and around the bend of the creek. It was about 1 a.m. when I was awakened by the same roaring howl, and I realized my fire was almost out. So I grabbed my 911 and began building the fire back up when the bushes about 35 yards to my right started to rustle. By then my fire was back up and going good. I remember the strange thing on how quiet the wood was, and no hoot owls or not even crickets. So nothing, it was all still and stuff. I reached my tent and grabbed my gun and 3 rounds into the bushes, which stopped the noises, and you could hear something run over the big hill. Well, after that, I got married and moved away, thinking nothing more of these encounters, until a few months ago, his 3-year-old daughter come running into the living room, screaming bloody murder, saying that the dogman was looking at her through the window. Now, she had no idea what a dogman or a werewolf was, because my wife and I restrict her, and they don't let her watch anything, is what he said. And hold on. So about 1 week later, I got hurt on the job, so I was off, and he had to go to the bathroom around 3 a.m. So we come back to the bedroom. Someone was coming down my street with their high beams on, and a shadow got casted on my blinds. I thought the shape of the shadow to be odd, so I peeped out the blinds, and standing there was a huge, dark, dog-like figure that stood on 2 legs. I really couldn't see the features, but his head and ears reminded me of my healer dog, except much bigger, and the ears were more pointed. I spun around to grab my AR-15, opened the blinds again to shoot through the window, and it was gone. Now, the past week or so, my dogs have been staying very close to me and always watching my back fence line. And one night, they started barking and growling, and their bristles raised on their backs. And then a deep guttural growl started coming from back there. So all 3 of us ran into the house, locking the doors. And honestly, I'm still shocked of what it is. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Sadly, I have not been able to photograph or record anything yet due to shock and well-being injured. But I do believe there are things in this world that we simply cannot explain, and I live around a mystery, and I have lived around a mystery my whole life. Brother, I would say, yeah, I feel like you have maybe a dogman that has been watching and lurking you your entire life. And buddy, I'm going to send you out some prayers in the name of Jesus, okay? That you are protected, that we're all protected. The whole entire wolf pack here is protected by the blood of Jesus. And yeah, I mean, they are attached to a lot of people, and maybe they do go down from generations to generations just to watch and observe. So, I don't know, guys. What do you think? That's pretty darn scary. Let me know what you think about Matthew's encounter.
Well, everyone, what did you think of those 5 scary dogman experiences from Texas? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have a cryptid or dogman experience, make sure to email me. I'm going to throw my email up there right now, okay? Email me. You can send me a video link. You can send me anything. It doesn't even have to be your story. If you see a cool dogman thing on YouTube or anything, just send me a link and be like, hey, you should check this out. I am perfectly fine with that too. It doesn't have to be your story. Okay, I love getting anything like that. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Yeah. And until the next time,